And so, my goodness, can you believe it? It's Easter time already. It's Passover time already. It's whatever time already. It's springtime already. Already. So, as we proceed into this great, good, wonderful week, and it is a great, good, wonderful week, why is that? Because thousands and millions of people all over the world will be prayerfully engaged this week, Jews and Christians and all their friends too, as we get caught up in waiting for the Easter bunny and Easter eggs, because it's all about the Easter bunny and Easter eggs. Really. And so in the process, you and I get to think about kindness. Now, kindness is not unfamiliar to us, and we may think we may have a good handle on it, we who are wonderful students of the truth and who are committed and dedicated to spiritually realizing, but we can always have a little nudge to check in and see how indeed we are doing in that area. And I love the story about the great noble lady who lived in a town and decided to check out the level of kindness and goodwill amongst her neighbors. So she dressed up as this very poor person and put on old clothes and took an old basket with her and went out into a miserably cold day and knocked on many doors, looking for help, looking for succor, looking for a kind word. And of course, most of the doors were closed on her, and she didn't get anything. Some doors were closed with some not too kind words either. Other people gave her things that were of very little value, not really of much use at all to her. But one poor man, took her in to his humble home, brought her in and put her sitting in a warm room and gave her a lovely warm meal and spoke encouraging words to her, and as she was leaving told her not to lose hope, that things can change. And so a day or two later, she decided she was going to invite all these people she had visited into her grand mansion and sent out the invitations. Of course, these people, being curious and not knowing what this was all about, were delighted to go to the nice big mansion. And so they arrived, and the servants greeted them and took them into a beautiful dining room and put them where their place names were and sat them down at their places. And when they all sat down, they all had different experiences. Those who gave the woman nothing had nothing on their plates. Those who gave the woman nothing and had unkind words for her had unkind words on their plates. The others who gave her things that were not at all useful had those very same things put back on their plates. And the gentleman who had been so kind was at the top of the table with a big feast before him. And she came in and she explained what the situation was all about. And she said, "And so in return, I have given you exactly what you gave me." And the moral of the story is, of course, the measure you give is the measure you get. We have to understand very clearly that how I perceive life, how I show up in life, life perceives me and shows up for me. How I am in life, life will be to me. Because life is an amazing mirror that I look into, and whatever I see in there about myself, my life, my conditions, all of life and living too, will be reflected right back to me. And not just reflected, but will return back to me in the form of experiences. So if I am mean and stingy in life, life is going to be mean and stingy with me. That's the law of reciprocity. It's a law. It's how life works. And so it behooves us to understand how life works and work it on the affirmative side of life. These lessons for us abound. When the Dalai Lama was asked what he thought about religion and what religion was to him, he said, "Religion to me is kindness. That's what religion is to me." Now, really, he's speaking about spirituality. It's a universal principle. Because for those of us who are endeavoring to live as spiritual beings, of course, kindness would be big on our plate as far as where we need to be, how we need to be, and the way we need to live our lives with love and loving kindness. A very holy monk was once asked up in the high Himalayas, what was the way to approach enlightenment, to be able to reach enlightenment. And he had a purposeful pause, and then he responded, compassion. Compassion is the way, because compassion is the language of God. Compassion is what connects us to each other. Compassion is what gets us heard and is what reaches the sacred heart of the divine. Compassion. That's the way. And there is, as I was sharing this morning, a charter of compassion that you can get on the internet and sign if you want to create this sense of compassion all over the world. And Karen Armstrong was the one who produced that as a result of a TED talk that she gave once. But I would say hesitate to do that unless you can find in yourself that experience of compassion, unless you are showing up in life as compassion, unless it moves through your thinking, through your speaking, through your feeling, and through all your action. Otherwise, what would be the point of signing a charter for compassion? Because remember, power is in action. Power is in action. We pray and we move our feet. And sometimes we forget about the moving of the feet. Now, small kindnesses add up. And anytime you receive a kindness, look at how you feel. Anytime you share a kindness with another, look at how you feel. It's a great, good feeling. No sweeter feeling than that. If we go to the scriptures, all of the scriptures, not just the Christian ones, but all of them, but the ones we seem to be more familiar with are the Judeo-Christian scriptures. And in there we are told, when you come into the kingdom, I will say to you, I was hungry and you gave me to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me to drink. I was alone and lonely and in prison and you visited me. And the response will be, but when did we do this? We don't remember doing this. And the answer is, as long as you did it for any one of these, my brethren, you did it to me. You did it to me. You see, the divine shows up in many disguises. In many disguises. I wonder how we would have responded to that lady. And when we got to her mansion, what would have been on our plate that day if we were the ones who had been put to the test. As long as we do it to any person, place, or thing, we are doing it to all life. All life is supported and served when I serve at any level at all. And there's no such thing as a small deed, as a small kindness. No kindness, no matter how small, is insignificant. It's huge. It's impactful. It makes an impact. And the thing about small kindnesses is they add up to the times when you and I will be called on for the big thing. And if we are faithful over the small things, we will be equal and measure up to the big thing, whatever that is. We certainly will. Small kindnesses. But this is not something you can pull out of your hat once in a while. Once in a while won't work. I have to be working on this every day of my life, every hour of my life, and sometimes every minute of my life to stay in the energy of kindness, compassion, understanding, an ability to identify with all of life, not just with my own, but to be able to identify with all of life so that I can appreciate what's going on in all of life. And a good deed, when I do it, has to be done in a certain attitude, in a certain frame. I can't just do a good deed out of obligation, a sense of obligation. If I do, it matters little. It's very little impactful as far as I am concerned. I have to be in the good deed coming from an energy of love and kindness and goodness and mercy and compassion and understanding and reverence and respect. That's what I'm called to. It's a high calling, but guess what? If I wasn't equal to it, I wouldn't be called to it. Nothing is asked of me that I'm not capable of. Nothing. Nothing. But in order to respond in that way, I have to reach into the truth essence of myself, the real essence of myself, the essential self. I have to come from my highest and my best self. I have to come from that divine aspect of my being in unison with, harmonized with my humanity. That's how I get to show up in loving, kind service, and no other way. I'm not going to be able to succeed any other way. And what makes me think that if I am not faithful over little things, it's going to work beyond that? It's not. And what are these little things? Well, Joyce Myers tells a wonderful story, I love it, about the impulses that occur within us, the inklings that occur within us when we have an inkling to put the shopping trolley back, put the shopping cart back where it belongs, not up against this, that, and the other thing, might be in the way of this, that, and the other thing, or knock into this, that, and the other thing. That is a divine impulse in us to show up as spiritual excellence. To show up as spiritual excellence. So Joyce Myers talks about the terrible dilemma she had over the shopping carts. That this was to always be in her mind. Everybody else has put their shopping cart here and there and over there, and it's a long way back to there, and why shouldn't I do it? Everybody else is doing it, and so on. And it minded her for a long, long time, and in the end she just gave in, and now it's no problem. She puts the shopping cart back where she knows it belongs. And she said, you know what, it doesn't take any more time, because before I was trying to figure out not to bump into that, and to get through that, and to shove it up in that, and so on. And she has a feeling of doing the right thing. You get that yourself, especially the ladies in department stores. You're going through the racks, there's something on the ground that's fallen off, and you have a choice. Am I going to bend down and pick it up even though I didn't drop it? And if they were doing their job, they'd be picking up these things and putting them back on the shelves. And see, that's overanalyzing. Once you get into overanalyzing, you're not going to do the good. You're not. You've passed it. It's lost you. Your opportunity is gone, you see. And why should I bend down and pick up whatever? The instinct comes into you, pick it up, put it on the rack. Just do it. Just do it. And the bonus is you're losing half a calorie as well, for heaven's sakes. You're getting a bit of exercise. It makes you bend, and it's all about bending, isn't it? Lumbering, keeping yourself limber. And so these are the things. And when we show up, when it comes to us, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that, you have the impulse. Oh, I really should go and support Reverend Mary's Namaste. Well, that's a divine impulse, a divine invitation. I really should go and support Reverend Aaron's Sparkle group. That's a divine invitation, a divine impulse. I really should say a kind word to that rotten, awful neighbor next door, even if he does bark back at me. That's a divine invitation. It's a divine impulse. Don't analyze it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Respond, Abu. Just respond. Respond. And, people say to me all the time, oh, when I get to be here, when I get to be there, when this happens and that happens, I'm going to be so good, I'm going to do so much good, I'm going to volunteer, I'm going to give a ton of money to the center, I'm going to do all of these things. No, you're not. Unless you're already giving $1 when you can give $1, $5 when you can give $5, $10 when you can give $10, or you're not volunteering for an hour here or an hour there or whatever. Unless you're doing the little things now, you're not going to do the big things. Stop kidding yourself. Me too. It's not going to happen. And then with the volunteerism, oh yeah, I'm going to volunteer, but I want to be with that group over there, and I only want to do that because I like doing that, and I like those people. I don't like doing that over there, and I don't like some of those people. Don't put me over there. I'm not going over there. You see, that's not how spiritual unfoldment works. You know, the ones who want to get their black belts say, put me with that crew over there. They get on my very last nerve. They're the group I want to go over and work with. Put me over doing that job. I can't stand doing that kind of stuff, but it'll be good for me to go beyond my comfort zone. Put me over there. Put themselves in the place. Don't wait for you to put you in it. See, that's when we know we're getting it. Yeah, I want to go over and help out at, over at the youth center over there. Don't know much about children, and I don't know that I even like children very much, but I want to do it. Let's see how we get on. God help the children, I'm saying. But anyway, let's have a try. Let's have a try. You never know. You see, going beyond the call of duty, going above and beyond the call of duty, is what gets you your extra brownie points on the spiritual line of unfoldment. And so it's not, I'm the great volunteer because I do this over here and I do that over there and I do that down there, because I love doing all of that stuff and the people are lovely and I love them. But don't go and ask me to do anything other than I want to do, because I'm not doing it. We have a chance to think about these things, especially this week as we move deeper into the Easter experience. And what is the Easter experience? It's rising up of the old deadwood, the old stuff that doesn't work, rising up out of that and deciding to embrace a new reality. It's letting go of the old one to embrace the new one, because we can, if we want to. But we have to want to. And another thing about showing up in life and living to be of any good to anyone or anywhere, it has to be with power, with passion. When I'm doing my good, I need to be empowered and passionately engaged. What do you think compassion is composed of? Passion. Come, passion. Pour yourself through me out there and let me do this with all my vim, my vigor, and my verve. For there is nothing better I could be doing and no place else I could be than in this place now, with these persons, places, and things, regardless of how or who or what they are. I'm here because I'm meant to be here. I'm here because I have something to bring. I have something to give. Why? Because believe it or not, each one of us in this room and everywhere else too is the givingness of life back onto itself. Came here to be the givingness of life back onto itself. Came here to be the gift and give it away. Wow, fancy that. And I thought I was here to get stuff and things and all the gifts to be brought to me. Wow, how could one be so wrong? As the poet said, life is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away a sordid boon. See, we think it's all about getting and spending. And if you think that doesn't refer to each one of us in this room, you're wrong. Look at the amount of time that you and I are engaged in getting and spending. For what? On what? With what in mind? The only thing here for us to get that we can take with us when we go on to bigger and better things is a deeper awareness of consciousness. We're here to get consciously. That's the only reason why we're here. Now, who would have thought, when so many of us are engaged in getting all the stuff and things? We think that's what we're here for. To get stuff and things, not at all. We're here to catch the consciousness of conscious consciousness. Who knew? It costs nothing. I don't spend anything. And I don't need any stuff and things in order for that to happen. And the more I catch the consciousness of the truth of my being, the more I am the gift that keeps giving. I go beyond the Energizer Bunny. I leave him in the dust. In the dust. once I catch that consciousness, because I am so empowered, I am so filled with amazing stuff that every day of my life there's no end to the good I could get up to. No end to it. Think of all the good I could be getting up to instead of all the mischief. Or sitting on my sweet derriere and doing nothing at all, like the fellow in the scriptures in the talent story. Remember, the Lord went away, called 3 guys to himself, and he said, listen, guys, I've got this amount of money. I'm going to give this amount of money to each one of you. I want you to take it. I want you to go away, invest it, do what you can. But when I come back, I want to see an increase in what I'm giving you. Oh, sure, not a problem. So one got 5 talents, one got 3 talents, one got 1 talent. You know the story. The 5 absolutely increased theirs. The 3 increased theirs. The one guy who got the 1 talent, he said, oh, Lord, no, I didn't do anything with it. I was afraid that if I invested it, I'd lose it, and then you'd be annoyed and you'd be, fire me. So I buried it until you came back, and here it is back to you. And of course, you know what he got, his comeuppance. He said, because these people have been faithful over the little I gave them, I am going to place them over bazillions. They did a good job. But you give that back to me, and you're more than out of here. You're in prison too. You wicked fellow. You naughty man. You imbecile. You don't use it, you lose it. And not only do you lose it, you're made miserable as a result of what you're losing. See? And you and I are sitting on all of that talent. And we laugh at this guy, we think, what an idiot. That's what they'd say in Ireland, what an idiot. Which means la Amadan in Irish, which means idiot. Not a kind word, that would be on our plate if we called anybody that when we went to the mansion. So what's it going to be, my dear ones? How do you want to be, my dear ones? Who do you want to be, my dear ones? Who are you showing up at every day of your life? Who are you showing up as? What are we seeing when you show up? And when you do, are we thrilled to see you? We can't wait to see you. We delight in your presence, because just your presence in the room fills it with this wonderful light. That's the way we could be, because that's the truth of our being. That's the truth of our being. Look at the smiles we could put on faces where there are none. Look at the hope we could put in a heart where there is none. Look at the hop, skip, and jump we could put in a step where there is none. Every day that's available to you and that's available to me. In small ways, but not in significant ways. There are so many opportunities in every day. But we ourselves are so caught up in our own crabbiness, in our own lives, in our own lack, in our own limitation, in our own stories, in our own dramas, in our own, oh my gosh, and it goes on and on and on. We are too busy in all of our negativity to be even able to see it, far less be it, out there in the world. Live. Here's the invitation Spirit gives to us all. And if you know the teaching of science of mind, if you know the teaching of metaphysics, if you know the teaching of quantum physics, this is what you do know. Live your life as though there were no conditions, there were no limitations. And that's exactly what you will experience. No conditions and no limitations. Because how you show up in the world is how the world shows up for you. Live your life as though there are no conditions and no limitations. And see if the floodgates of heaven will not open and pour out so many blessings upon you that there will not be enough places or spaces to fill with those blessings. Live the way you want to live. Live the way you imagine you can live someday. And start living that now. Because that's what it is to assume the feeling of the desire already fulfilled. So if I see myself as a compassionate person, as a kind person, as a giving person, if I can see it, if I can feel it, if I can concede to it, if I can own it, if I can claim it, if I can start thinking as though it were so, speaking as though it were so, feeling as though it were so, I will act as it is so. That's the way the life's teaching works. It is done unto me as I believe. It is done unto me as I feel. It is done unto me exactly the way I do unto all else, and no other way. This is a great good week for this invitation for us to take a look at ourselves and our quotient of kindness, etc., etc., etc. And I know we are going to measure up. I am knowing that for each and every one of us. So I leave you with the golden rule of Anonymous. I love Anonymous. Anonymous is so brilliant and writes so prolifically, I can't keep up with Anonymous. But according to Anonymous, we are invited to do all that we can do by all the means that we can do, in all the ways we can do, in all the places we can do, at all the times we can do, to all the people we can do, as long as we ever can do. That's our invitation. Show up, in other words, just exactly as you're created to be. Brilliant, amazing, life's givingness back unto itself, and so it is.